This again comes down to bitochen and emunah. By believing in God, we believe that our situation has been created by God for us to overcome. And the person we live with has been created by God. The Rebbeinu Shalom sits and puts together partners who should be your partner. It doesn't always mean that a computer can work out if you are compatible and you're going to live happily ever after. It's not really true. It doesn't work out and it hasn't ever happened. The point is, when we live together with one another, then we have to see that what is the purpose of life? What is our reason of life? We both have to have the same reason. A girl and a boy have to be explained, if they're getting married by 17, what is your purpose of life? I suggest to somebody that really let them get married at 17 because we don't want them they have certain desires in life and we don't want them doing things which are not right. But let them not have children until 20 or 21 because they're too young to have children. I remember once when my wife and me got married, my wife wasn't well. She had rheumatic fever before we were married, I knew, and she had to have a heart valve replaced. And then they said she was the first woman to have a heart valve replaced in England and have a child, and she had a stroke when she was expecting my first child. And it came to having another child. I was a bit scared, and we had to be very careful and consider. But not being able to cope with a child mentally and not being able to look after the child, being too young, is you're not ready. You're the same sort of ill as a person who is physically ill and not able to have a lot of children. It's very sad because we only had 2 children, but on the other hand, thank God they're healthy and fine, and they are able to, and they're married, and they have children. Thank God for that. And that's the way you have to look at it. You don't always have to have a whole. Sometimes people who have 8 or 10 or 12 children just cannot cope with the situation, and we are putting our heads in the sand by thinking they can. They are not. The women is not mentally able to, and the husband is not physically able to. He isn't the proper help to his wife to support her. You see, sometimes you get a husband and wife who live together, and they are 50% compatible, they help each other, they're Isaac and everything. But that's not good enough. To be a unit of Lebosa Echad, the Pasuk says, to be a unit of one, you have to be 100% dedicated to each other. That's the aim of your life. That's what you have to work to. And you have to work on that all your life. If you're lucky and you get to 80 or 90% where you're working together to educate the children, they turn out very well. And then there's a lot of harmony between how you have your children. If there's a harmony when you have your children, the Shulchan Aruch says that if you're not allowed to live with your wife, if you're angry, it's quite understandable, because if you disturb in the transaction of physically bringing around a child who might end up with a very violent temper because you have done certain things when you weren't in a really calm, collected mood. And this is, I've heard somebody said to me that I should look up a certain sefer which talks about it, and I haven't had a chance to look it up yet, but I should look it up. He says, you've come to the thoughts of certain gone from a few generations ago, and the same thought. Really, I don't know if all the children who get married should have children straight away. Okay, we can't stop them getting married. We have to have them to get married, but we don't give them a proper explanation before they get married what married life is really about. That a Jewish married life is being compatible to each other, trying to please each other. It's not getting your own satisfaction. But the Goyim and today's Jewish people, all they think about is getting their own satisfaction. The girl thinks she must be, you can see with the chasna, is my dress nice, is this nice? That's not the main point. Is it bekovedik the chasna? Balbatish, they've got these words. Who says balbatish? Maybe we should just give a piece of fish and compote, like I wanted 2 years ago when by the chasnas of my children. Just a piece of fish and compote, finish. You don't have to give more. Who says you have to give more? I don't understand all this showing off and respectability we will put about. Who put these rules and regulations into force? It's never been discussed, and I'm very sad about having to bring this on the open through this media, but it's an important point of discussion. Do we educate our children to understand at 17 what is married life? Does the bocher who's getting married at 18 understand what married life is about? I don't think so. And I'm looking around at them, all he's worried about is his stramel, and all she's worried about is their scheitel, and their dresses, and a chasna dress, and that they're all dancing around with a ring, by a chasna, throwing balloons in Golders Green, or doing other things, where the wedding is going to be. It's like that film they showed, the Bar Mitzvah boy. And when you see the point of this Bar Mitzvah the film they showed, it's a very important film. You know why? Because it showed his Bar Mitzvah was in the 1966, when it was just on the same day England were playing for the World Cup, and all the people refused. I'm sorry, I can't come because your Bar Mitzvah. And then in the end of the film, he says to himself, what is the main part of my bar mitzvah? Who comes to it? It's me. Me becoming somebody of a gentleman. Me becoming to a certain age. So it doesn't matter how many people attend my bar mitzvah, how many presents I get. And that's what we have to bring into these children to understand that marriageable age. Maybe, it's better they shouldn't even get engaged till 2021. But then we're bringing in a lot of other things. Who knows what they'll do? But definitely to have children before they're 20 or 21 is a very dangerous situation. And that's how we get lots of stress and divorces. And the Rabbonim, to my sad consideration, have not learned up to these matters. You cannot even discuss it with them because everything is a closed shop. When you want to discuss it, it's a closed shop. It's like the Kedassia. I'm bringing in another subject now. It's the Kedassia. I wanted to talk to one of the Shochtim, Moshe Meyer, about certain things which go on in the Chevra Kedisha, and certain things are lochas, and certain things that go on as is a shaykhet, what go in Kedassia. Kedassia will not allow you entry to the abattoir. They will not allow you to see, because maybe you'll see something which is not as 100%, and they're supposed to be above the top people. Rebbe Westheim, who is not scared, he does everything al pi Shulchan Aruch, what's supposed to be done. He lets you in, and the same as Chevra Kedisha. One of the main points of the Chevra Kedisha is we are the Chevra Kedisha. You are not allowed. I asked a question when somebody died. I don't want to go into it because it's not a nice subject, but I wanted to know halachadik or how they paskin in such a situation. And one of the Chevra Kedisha, a younger man, told me straight away, look up this in this book, look at this. And Moshe Meyer brief, he wouldn't tell me. He's Gan Rosh, he's nearly the top. Answer this question. It's only halacha to learn. Just because you are the Chevra Kedisha doesn't mean you are superior. This sort of feeling superior, if you go with a Stramen, and if you go with Schwarze Socken, and you go with a Rejevulke, you are superior to the other person. Or by the Litvischer, there's certain other standards which make you feel superior. That's not the aim of Yiddishkeit. Your superiority is not the aim of Yiddishkeit. It's the effort we put into being religious and orthodox. This is something it Tabrut tried to bring over, and we as stupid people did not want to understand.